Hey guys, welcome to the channel. For those of you who are new and the video, this is KMZ, and today we're going to be covering a few bits of information regarding the PS3 and 4.87 custom firmware, the situation that's going on with that, plus the latest webman mod. Then we will cover the Switch and just bring you up to date on a few things since Nintendo pushed yet another update a few days ago. So I'm going to go over with you what has been updated, and I'm going to cover just a little bit real quick what I'm going to be doing on my Discord, because I'm going to have a version of Deep Sea on my Discord that doesn't have the experimental mesosphere atmosphere. So if you want to get the latest version of Deep Sea and you want it to have the regular atmosphere, not the experimental stuff, you'll be able to get it there within the next couple of days or so. I'm going to set that up, and there's a couple of things we're going to cover, including what's going on with the hacking, modding, news and info segments, and maybe one or two other things I'm going to brief you on real quick. So I want to do another video here either today or tomorrow, kind of an update to the PS3 4.87 hen tutorial I did, because I left out a couple of things, and then one or two other things I want to just be a little bit clear on and wanted to clarify, because I think some people were confused. So let's go ahead and let's kick things off with this one here today. All right, now let's start off with the PS3. We have a new custom firmware for it. This one is by Evilnat. He is the developer of Sen Enabler. This is 4.87.2 Evilnat Cobra. This does come with Cobra, as the name implies. It is Kex only. There is no Dex at this moment. So here on the page, you have a few choices. And before we get to that, I believe that this is Evilnat's first custom firmware, but I'm not too sure about it. Anyway, when he came out with the 0.1, it was pretty messed up. And so he went back, got some input from many other developers, and then this 0.2 is much better. You don't have to stay on it if you don't want to. You can just install it, and then of course it's super easy to downgrade. I already did a video about it. Hopefully I'll remember, and I'll put the link in my description. If not, it's in my playlist of PS3 tutorials here on YouTube. Anyway, you have the regular Cobra Kex. There is no Dex at this moment. You then have the Cobra Kex No BD, which is for those of you who have a PS3 that will not install firmware if your Blu-ray drive is messed up or a certain component of it is messed up. Maybe you have a bad ribbon or the PC board or whatever it's called is shot. Then there's no BT. I've never experienced this, and I really even wasn't aware of this, that if the Bluetooth is bad, you can't install firmware, but I guess that's a thing. And then you have the no BD and no BT. So if your Blu-ray drive and Bluetooth are bad, then you may want to try this one out. So you have all four of them there. I don't know if there will be any other custom firmwares available. I don't know if Rebug is going to make one. We'll just see what happens. But again, if you're not happy with this one for whatever reason, install it, and then you can super easily downgrade to anything you want. And before we continue, let me just go over a few warnings with you, because these are the same questions that people ask all of the time when they want to upgrade to a newer CFW. This is for jailbreakable systems only, not for hen. Also, this is for Kex, so you need to make sure that the custom firmware you have installed is Kex. If you have a Rebug Dex installed, and if for some reason you want to go to this 4.87.2, any Rebug Dex can be converted over to Kex. I did a video about it. It's also in my PS3 tutorials section. The other thing is to make sure that you have no spoofers running. So if you've enabled Sen Enabler so you could get back online, or you're using something else, make sure those spoofers are completely disabled. Reboot your system and confirm that you are back on the older, custom firmware number, and then install this over that Kex custom firmware. And lastly, if you have a jailbreakable PS3, but you don't already have custom firmware installed, you need to make sure that you install HFW. You don't need to install hen. I've seen some people say, oh, you need to install hen. No, you don't. Install HFW. Then you need to follow the flashing process, which is done through ps3exploit.com. Hopefully they've updated it to 4.87. That's a whole nother tutorial. Once you've flashed your PS3, then it's ready to accept custom firmware, and then you can install this practice on that. I'll probably do a tutorial on that here shortly, but others have done it and they've done a pretty good job. That's why I haven't made the tutorial for that myself. Anyway, those are the warnings I wanted to go ahead and clear up because they are the questions that people ask the most. Let's go ahead and move on. So now let's move on over to the Switch scene. Nintendo recently pushed yet another update. I think a few days ago, it was 11.0.1. This came pretty much almost immediately after they did the 11.0. They had to fix a couple of things, but Atmosphere updated again. It's now on 16.1. It is still pre-release, but it seems to be working just fine. When you download one of these versions, you should already know that the Fusey Primary is just a regular plain Jane vanilla Atmosphere. The one on top is the normal one that comes with the Homebrew launcher and the Homebrew menu, and then you have the Atmosphere that comes with the experimental Mesosphere. And as I've told you before in previous videos, leave the experimental stuff for other people. Let them use their consoles as the guinea pigs. So my recommendation is always to stick either to the vanilla one or just the regular one that comes with the Homebrew launcher and Homebrew menu. Hecate has also updated. It's now on 5.5.1. Nix has updated as well. And of course, it works with the latest firmware 11.0.1 as well as the latest Atmosphere 16.1. And for those of you that use Deep Sea, DC has also updated to 1.9.1. It has the latest Atmosphere 16.1. I think it also has the latest Hecate, but they just didn't note it on here, or actually maybe they didn't update it, who knows. But the one thing here that you need to make a note of is that if you download the full version, the one that comes with everything, you do automatically get that experimental Mesosphere Atmosphere. I wish they gave you a choice between one or the other, but they don't. So what I'm going to do is over on my Discord, sometime within the next day or two, in my Switch section, wherever that may be, because I might change things up a bit, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a version of Deep Sea that comes with the regular Atmosphere. So it's going to have all of the homebrews and everything, and you would update like normal or install it like normal, but it's going to have that regular normal Atmosphere, not the experimental one. And hopefully they'll change that around and they'll give you a choice of one or the other. But in the meantime, you'll be able to come here. Now, the SIG patches have also updated to 16.1. However, of course, I can't put links in the description to that. I also can't show you where it's at. But if you hit me up over on Discord, you might find some information that's useful regarding that. Let's move on. All right, so we're going to wrap things up by going over the hacking, modding, news, and info segments. I know a lot of you watch these because they usually get views like well within the thousands or 2,000s or even more. They will return in the first week of January. I just haven't had a time or have had the chance to do them. And so in that first week of January, at some point, I will release the next episode or do the next episode, which will be, I guess, number 60. It'll probably be 3 parts long, and we will cover everything that we've missed or I've missed and haven't covered in November and or December, just kind of to summarize everything. And it will cover, you know, the 3DS, the Switch, PS4, PS3, the homebrews that we've missed, any significant updates to anything in the world of emulation, anything with like the miscellaneous mentions that I cover, the iOS jailbreak, and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for those. Hopefully before the year ends. Also, I will do the video on what was going on the PS3 scene regarding Habib. I know I told you guys to be on the lookout for that one because there was a lot of juicy drama going on. So I will be working on that one and hopefully get it to you before the year is over. If not, you will also get it right at the beginning of January. And then the update on what's going on with Team Executor. We know a lot more information because the FBI and or Department of Justice has released more information regarding them. Some emails that they've intercepted just showing the greed and pretty much the brass that Team Executor had or thought they had. Well, I still think they think they have it anyway. Yeah, we're going to cover that. how some of them were actually legit criminals and went to jail for reselling stolen credit cards and all that good stuff. So you'll get that right at the beginning of January. And then we'll get into the review videos that I told you guys I was going to start doing, more tutorials and all of that stuff. I will be taking some time off starting on Christmas Eve, probably around 9 to 10 days. But if anything major happens, I'll let you guys know. But I'm going to release a video either on Christmas Eve or right before then, reminding you guys that yeah, I'm going to be taking some time off, and if anything big happens, I'll let you know. All right guys, so that is going to do it for this video. You know, I appreciate you watching, and as usual, if you found anything here helpful, useful, informative, you just want to throw some love or appreciation towards the channel, the best way to show your support, as always, just hit that like button and maybe subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, because sometimes, as I've mentioned before, when something major happens or comes out, or I think there's something important that some of you may need to know, I'll just go ahead now and post it up real quick in the YouTube community post section deal. You should get notified, and then you can see what it is and see if the information is something that is useful to you and, you know, something you can benefit from. Much love going out to everyone out there. Be careful, be safe, but have fun, and we will see you on the next one.